Hey guys, welcome back to Be Unemployable.
Hi guys, missed you. Aren't you so happy Maggie's here? I'm
I'm
happy Maggie's
here.
here.
I'm here.
She's
Oh my
here.
God. So
Yay!
exciting.
You were very missed. You were very, very missed. They've been having to deal with just me talking for the last, was it 1 or 2 episodes? I want to say 2.
No, it was one, and then
It
it was
was
two
1.
before that. So it was like two, and then I was here, and then it was one.
Oh, time is really hard when you have ADHD. Do you ever find that?
Yes, and the only reason I know what it was is because I was just on our podcast page looking at the episodes.
I was gonna say that was incredibly impressive that you remembered that.
Thanks. It wasn't actually my real memory. It was me just recalling things from like 20 minutes ago.
Uh,
I'm not as impressive as I pretend to be.
You are impressive. Are you medicated today?
I am as of about an hour and a half ago.
Okay, so it's like
So
peaking
it's
right now.
like real medicated. Like,
That's amazing. That's
thanks.
fantastic.
Are you medicated?
I am not, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So I take my boards exam tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So
Such a big deal.
it is a big deal. So I took a medication holiday today will be day 3 because I want it to kick in really hard tomorrow when I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ADHD medication, if you guys take it, you probably know like a lot of doctors do recommend that you take at least like a day off every week so that your body doesn't get too used to it and therefore you don't have to, keep upping your dose. So I took off 3 days so that like when I do take it, it's going to be like, whoa, bitch, who are you? And
Like,
then
this is a new
I'm a new
experience.
person. Look at all my executive function. I remember everything. But so that's why I'm not currently medicated.
I took the whole weekend off of it.
Uh-huh.
So today is like a nice perk.
You're a new bitch today.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I didn't, so I don't know if the podcast listeners follow me on social or not, but if you do not, I'm going to tell you I was without internet for like over 24 hours,
did you
which
go
is,
through withdrawals?
I actually was okay once I found something else to do.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, I had taken an Adderall when I had internet. So the internet went out at noon and I got up for the day a little before 10. And
Mm-hmm.
I've decided this is how I'm living my life at this moment. It always changes. That when I wake up, I'm going to do some chores around the house and then I'm going to get to work. Like,
Okay.
that's how I'm living my life right now. So when I got up at 10, I took an Adderall and I started doing some chores. And it went out at a little before noon. So I was medicated with
With
no
nothing.
internet.
Oh no, that's a nightmare. That's a
So
nightmare.
I ended up cleaning out a whole bunch of our storage. Like, we have like storage cabinets. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up cleaning out a bunch of the storage cabinets, getting rid of old stuff. I completely rearranged my plant areas and I cleaned out like I just cleaned a lot and I reorganized stuff and I ordered like all new backsplash. I got all of this stuff done.
That's incredible.
So the backsplash is here now. Like, I'm going to be updating the kitchen. I've decided on the kitchen design that I'm going with.
Uh-huh.
Like, I have started on the bathroom updates that I was already planning to do, and I've patched the walls. I'm in the process of fixing this arch. We have an archway that leads from my office into the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And when the people who lived here before us, they put paneling in the living room, which I've since painted, so you can't really tell it's paneling, but
Mm-hmm.
they left a gap between the archway and then the paneling. Like, they didn't smooth it.
Oh no.
So I filled that in once and I've sanded it and I want to go back with a second coat. But like, so I ended up doing all of this because I didn't have internet, but it put me behind in all my client work.
Uh-huh.
But I still took my medicine break because I was like, it's more important to make sure I'm taking the breaks than it is to hit deadlines.
Right.
Because I work with ADHD people and they understand that. And I reached out to them once we were down and the internet company said we had been down for like 12 hours and the internet company was like, we still have at least 28 more hours of downtime. So I reached out to my clients at that point and said, hey, everything's going to be delayed. I'm going to delay it a week because I need to prioritize my mental health at this point and make sure that I have time to finish your projects to my standards and I don't feel rushed.
Right.
Period.
And since your clients aren't assholes, they understood.
Yeah, one was like, be safe because they were out due to the storms that we had. And I mean, a tornado had touched down, like all kinds of horrible things had happened. So I was safe, but my clients were literally like, be safe, make good choices.
Right.
So it's really important to not only like prioritize your mental health and prioritize yourself, but also work with people who understand why you're doing that and support you in doing that.
We could do a whole episode of why you should choose to only serve neurodivergent people because they're just better people in general, but we can say that for like another day.
Right? Like that's one of my clients is actually thinking about changing her niche to that.
Oh, no
because
shit.
It's such a loving community. And
yes,
they don't realize they're loving people because we're neurodivergent. So that's not how we identify ourselves.
Right.
But that accepting part of ourselves is so warm, welcoming, like come as you are.
Yes.
It makes for an ideal client.
100%. It's been so long since I spoke with neurotypical people because like pretty much just all my friends are neurodivergent, and I was my friend's date to a wedding on Saturday, and I think I forgot how to do small talk and talk about like boring things.
It's hard.
I was literally like texting my community on Discord. I'm like, I don't know how to talk to neurotypicals. Like, what the fuck? I am so bored right now.
You're like, thank you, nice meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you. I did a business. Rhubarb, rhubarb. Like, I don't know.
I literally don't know. They were talking about like the wedding decor and shit. I'm like, this is the most boring fucking conversation I have ever been part of. Can we talk? Finally, I got the whole table talking about their dogs and showing pictures. I'm like, okay, thank God. Like we pivoted. Yeah. I found something interesting. I latched onto it. I asked everyone to show me pictures of their animals. Like it turned around after that, but it was rough getting going. Yeah. For sure. Like had to hardcore like mask and say, I was like saying socially inappropriate things, like sprinkling it, and my friend would kind of look at me because she's neurotypical, and I'm just like, oh, was that like not acceptable? I don't even understand.
Do we not talk about that?
We don't.
The dinner table of a wedding?
Okay. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll hold it back. But she's, even though she is neurotypical, I talked about her on the last podcast episode. She was my roommate in college and incredibly loving, accepting person. And she genuinely loves me for who I am. So for the most part, she'll just look at me in amusement and not expect me to say socially appropriate things because I refuse to. That's fucking boring.
Right? It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much expectation.
Like,
no.
We all know it's sunny outside. Why do we have to talk about it? I don't understand.
Right. Like that's the hard. So you know how the brain work, how our brains work. So yeah. I can share this on the podcast and it'll make sense to the listeners as well. The hardest part with where my desk is, obviously I'm not at my desk right now. If you're watching on video, you can see that. But the hardest part with where my desk is that it's next to a sliding glass door. So when it's nice out, it's all I can talk about, which sounds like I'm making small talk. But really, it's because
it's really exciting.
It's so exciting because I can see the outside. Yeah. And I live where I live. Like I have a really nice location for my house. So I have a lot of land and then it butts up to city and county owned property.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a park. It's the woods and it's a walking path and it's nothing but trees and land and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I get to see wildlife. I get to I just have a really beautiful location. And when I'm staring out my back window, I start talking about the weather and people are like, cool. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. Like it's all I can see. So I'll be like, oh my gosh, it just started raining. And people are like, yep, that's nice. And I'm like,
That's
oh,
because your friends are neurodivergent and they're not used to having to do small talk with you. And they're like, what? I don't understand. Why is Maggie talking about the weather when you're like, no, this is actually the interesting thing right now.
right. And I literally will tell them, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'm sitting, 6 feet away from a sliding glass door and it's all I can see. It's just beautiful. Like I don't have a small backyard. Like it's not like 6 feet and then all of a sudden you have a fence. Like
Right.
it's just I just have a ton of land and then my back border is nothing but trees.
That's
So it's
incredible.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And to me, I just look out there all the time.
Right.
And it becomes like me making small talk when it's like, no, it's not. It's just my distraction.
Right. I
I'm
love it.
like, or I'll be like, hey, there's deer. And people are like, what? What are we talking about? I'll be like, there's deer in the backyard because I put a salt lick back there. So now I attract more deer. Oh my gosh, funny story that I have to tell now.
Uh-huh.
So my smallest dog, Sam, he is a Chihuahua and Shiba Inu mix. So he is
Mm-hmm.
fawn colored, right? And he's got
Yeah.
little white socks, but other than that, he's fawn colored.
Yeah.
And he always thinks he's king of the castle when we let him out back because I do have one side of my I only have one neighbor. She's over on my side on the side, this side right here. And then the other side is a park and then the back is actually um a school, but it's not. It's just land. But the school owns it. And we don't have we don't have anything on those sides because it's just trees. So when we let Sam out, he's not leashed. And he goes out, he's playing. Well, an actual fawn was in the backyard. Like we have deer constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And this fawn saw Sam and I'm assuming thought, oh my gosh, it's an even smaller baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sam looks like a fawn. He's got really long legs,
Uh-huh.
like really long legs, but he has a chihuahua body on top of those long legs.
He's so cute.
But he has the legs of like a Shiba Inu, but he's got a chihuahua body on top.
Mm-hmm.
So the fawn saw him and chased him like to play,
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
and chased him around our fire pit and then started coming and Sam starts coming to the house and I was so shocked. I just stood there screaming at the top of my lungs. Sean had to come out to scare the fawn away because Sam was screaming.
Oh
It was so
no.
adorable, but I was so shocked because this fawn was just like, oh my god, it's something smaller than me, and it looks just like me. Because I always say he looks like Clarice from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
That's his coloring. That's how he looks. He's just so cute.
Oh.
And this fawn thought the same thing and was just like playing with him. And he got so scared, and I got scared because he was scared. I got scared of a
Oh.
fawn. A fawn.
That's
A
hilarious.
fawn. And yeah, that happened in my backyard because we're
That's
like
amazing.
we're like Snow White over here. We have all the animals. When I was in Memphis, a bird landed on me. Did I tell you that?
No?
Yeah, I'm Snow White.
You genuinely are.
I took a video of it because I thought it was gonna attack me
Mm-hmm.
because he kept coming down and like coming by me,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh my gosh, because it's a blue jay and blue jays are mean,
Right.
and I was like, I'm gonna get eaten alive by a blue jay. Like I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die by a bird that's as big as my hand. Like I'm gonna go out this way.
Uh.
So I was taking video of this blue jay like swooping down and coming. So as soon as I stopped taking the video and I we were staying at a friend's house, and I was sitting on his, like, he has a porch swing, but it's in the backyard by this pool. And I was sitting on it, and the bird just came and landed on he landed on my head at first. And then he, like, came and he was just kind of wandering. And then he
Oh.
left.
Oh.
And I was like, did he shit on me? Like, I checked my hair. I was like, am I shit on? And he didn't. But I was sure he was just trying to, like eat my brains.
Right.
But no, I'm Snow White.
That's incredible.
So now we all know that. Fawns try to eat my dogs. Birds try to eat my brains. I'm the neurodivergent Snow White.
That's the best kind of Snow White.
Yeah. So that's that's what I've been up to. I've been Snow White over here.
That's incredible. Should we
get into it?
Should we get into it?
After 15 minutes?
Yeah.
You guys, I've just been missing you so hard.
She has. I love it.
So the meat and potatoes after 15 minutes.
You ready, guys?
Is how to know if your friends are keeping you poor.
Ooh, this is a good
That's what we're going to talk about. This is a good one. We're going to try to keep it to another 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to do our best.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Maggie,
one,
I want to hear you take over because you have a business that grosses nearly $1 million a year, and you went from 40K to over 500 in, like, was it about a year or less than a year?
It was. So I went from 40 to 400 in 9 months.
In 9 months.
And then I got to that last 100K I did in just like 3 months.
Okay. So I would love to hear you take over this conversation because you have more zeros in your bank account than I can probably count because I'm bad with numbers, and I want to hear your.
You're like, because I can only count to 3.
And then we have to start over. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this more so.
So, yeah. Here's the thing. Your friends are most likely keeping you poor. Not all of them. Not all of them. But there's probably 1, maybe 2 in your friend group who's a total butt face. And it may or may not be intentionally. And I say that with love. But do you know how when you have a really good idea and you tell someone, or you make something really cool and you show them, and they're like, oh, that's cool. I have a friend who does this and this and this. And they start telling you about somebody else.
Yeah.
That right there is someone who is belittling you.
Is that what is known as a butt face?
That's a butt face.
Okay. I wanted to know the formal definition of a butt face.
That's a butt face.
Okay.
The other thing is when someone refers to what you're doing as a little business. Like, how's that little project going? Or that little business? How's that little side business going?
I have just one really quick thing to say before I hand the microphone back over to you.
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of people talk to me about when I start working once I get my license, as if I haven't been running a business for, like, I don't know, 5 months. And it's really pissing me off. And they're like, oh, so where are you going to be licensed? Where are you going to be working? I'm just like, I am. I have a business. It's doing very well. Oh, well, it's always good to have a backup plan.
Planning for failure is the stupidest kind of planning.
Stupidest fucking planning. Okay, handing the mic back over to you. I just had to say that. And if you are one of those people that have told me that, this is just the formal invitation to go fuck yourself. And I'm giving the microphone back over to Maggie.
Yeah. It's that planning for failure is the stupidest kind of planning. And if that is what you are inviting someone to do, you can kindly go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That is my invitation to you.
Yeah.
So, someone who tells you that, like, oh, I can introduce you to somebody who can get you a job when you're talking about, like, oh, I love doing this. Like, so I've started a business doing it. Well, I can introduce you to someone who can get you a job doing that. I'm sorry. Did I not just tell you I'm starting a business doing that?
Yeah.
Like maybe if they're lucky, I will hire them.
Right. Right. Thank you.
So things like that. Or, and this is going to be a personal story because that's how we relate.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, I had a group of friends, and now I talk to one of them, and she doesn't listen to this podcast, but actually she has, but still. For a long time, had a group of friends who would always talk, we would talk about starting a business together, the four of us,
Mm-hmm.
because we all had complementary skills.
Mm-hmm.
So it made total sense.
Mm-hmm.
All four of us, we would do different things, like
Mm-hmm.
within the business,
Mm-hmm.
and no one would make the move. So eventually I started the business. I started a business. I started my business.
Uh-huh.
And two of them disappeared.
Oh.
They both went and got new jobs,
Mm-hmm.
still in their roles. One's a salesperson, one's a customer service person. So
Mm-hmm.
it made sense for me to start a business where, I handled all the like marketing and business side of things.
Uh-huh.
One of them would do sales, one of them would do customer service, and then the fourth person, she was more of the like behind the scenes kind of like admin.
Uh-huh.
So it made sense for the four of us because we actually ran an office together, which is how we all met.
Okay.
We ran a remote office.
Mm-hmm.
So two of them all of a sudden stopped talking to me. So it's important. Sorry if you hear my dogs going crazy. I don't know what's happening. I can only assume we're being invaded. So, so though they stopped talking to me when I started my business. And one of them I've still never talked to.
Uh-huh.
The other one I saw at a funeral and she was like, "Oh, I hear you're doing well. How's your little business?"
Oh.
"Oh,
Oh.
it's doing great.
Did you
How's it
rattle off
going?"
numbers? Did you
No,
rattle?
no.
Oh,
I'm not
you're
going to put her in her place. But the
okay.
reality is, those people, the people who will only talk and never move,
Mm-hmm.
they're bricks. They don't move, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Those people are holding you back. They're keeping you poor. The people who will sit and complain and tell you about all the things that are wrong in the world and not make a move,
Mm-hmm.
they're they're keeping you poor. Like if I continued to hang out with that group of four, they
Mm-hmm.
were awesome. They were good people. They will donate to every cause you could ever ask for. But they were not, still are not progressing in the way that I needed to progress.
Right.
So one of them absolutely is always open to that. She started her own business now
Mm-hmm.
and she's doing well. But the other two, they're still working for the man, doing jobs they don't like, living for the weekend.
Uh-huh.
You got to cut off those people. And how do you identify them, right? You look at the five people, you can pick as many as you want. Start with four or five. Look at the five people that you're hanging out with
Mm-hmm.
and the things that they're saying to you. What do you think? How do you identify them?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Or should we talk to the other people that are on this podcast? I'm just like,
Yeah.
is this a rhetorical question or
No, it's for you. I wasn't looking at all of my other hosts. I know we have, if you're seeing other hosts, that's a different podcast.
It is. And I've never experienced that specific mental illness. I've experienced most of the other ones. Um,
My husband's mom was schizophrenic, so it's not really that much of a joke, but also once
it's
you've lived
definitely
it,
not a joke. It's
if
definitely
once
not
you've
a
lived it, you're the only person who's allowed to joke about it. That's the other thing.
Yeah, right.
You're literally the only person who's allowed to joke about it.
The only one. Um, I look at how I feel before and after I talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I feel drained after I talk to them, not someone I'm going to associate with. If they are not gung ho, hell yeah, when I tell them about my business, then I'm not going to be talking to them. If they're if they're not my entire fucking if they're not my hype person,
Can I ask you a question?
absolutely.
When does that become a yes man only? Like when absolutely I want my friends to be my hype person,
Mhm.
but I also want them to say, "Hey, I love that idea, but here's my concern."
Oh, I only have people in my corner that will check me when I need to be checked.
Okay. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
asking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're fucking honest. They're
Yeah.
my hype person, but they're also honest. Yeah.
I want the people in my corner who will be like, "That's an amazing idea.
Mhm.
Here are the competitors I'm seeing in the space," or, "Hey, you look amazing today, except for the fact that your lipstick is all over your teeth."
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
those are the people I want. I don't want someone who's like, "You look amazing," when I look like wide open butthole. Like, I
Oh,
don't
no.
want
No.
like, I need those people in my corner,
Yeah.
and being a yes man will also get you out out of my corner. Like, I don't want a yes
Yes.
man who's just like, "That's such a good idea," when I'm like, "That's the worst idea I've ever had. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, no, no, my people, I should have been more specific. I want them to be like supportive, but also they'll put me in my place. I was actually talking about this with another person. I brought up the time when you and I had agreed I am not working on my business until after I pass my boards. Like, yes,
Mhm,
you can continue to sell, but you're not working on your business until after your boards. And I had interviewed a VA, and you were like, that's so funny because we agreed that you're not working on your business until after your boards. And I was like, oh, fuck.
yeah,
And it took me a bit to process why that felt so icky. It wasn't what you said, it wasn't anything. It was, I went against my morals, which is to be honest with myself and others. I made a promise to me and to you, and I broke it. And now I'm feeling like shit. Like Tony Robbins talks about how we have our like virtues, and being honest is one of my top virtues.
mhm,
And I broke it. And that's why I felt so shitty. So you checking me in that moment, it made it it even more solidified our business partnership, but also our friendship, because I know that you'll check me. I know that our friendship is safe because I never have to wonder where I stand with you. And I
yeah,
think that's very important in a friendship and in a business partnership too.
it is. It's very important, and I remember that. I remember that 'cause when I was thinking it, I was like, what I literally said was, "I guess I'm confused why you're interviewing somebody."
Yeah, that's exactly how you said it.
And I was like, I just don't understand why this is even happening."
Yeah.
And it's very important to realize, like, what changed, and then being able to say somebody, to a friend,
hmm
like, "Hey, this isn't even where you're supposed to be right now."
Yeah.
Just like but also have a friend feel safe enough to be like, "Listen, I know I'm not supposed to be here right now, but this is where I am, so can you help me?" So,
hmm
like, if you had realized before I did
Yeah.
that you were in a situation that you shouldn't have been in.
Yeah.
So, it's important for both parties to feel safe in a friendship like that,
hmm
and when they aren't, then it's not a good friendship, and you gotta get rid of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, there's more to just, like, are your friendships keeping you broke than are your friendships belittling your accomplishments? I went to a birthday party. Let me tell you, here's an example of somebody keeping you broke.
hmm
I went to a birthday party, and the husband of one of the friends said to me, "You still working on that little business?" And this is when I had just hit, I think I was at like 300,000 or something in the business.
Wow.
And I, in front of God and everybody, like, I didn't care who was around. I was like, "My business makes more than you and your wife combined." I did not give a shit. I
That's
was like,
awesome.
"How dare you?" I was like, "My little business makes more money than you, and it allows me freedom that you do not have.
Then
how
he
dare
shut the
you?
fuck up. I
I
want
was
to know
like,
the reaction.
do not. He was like, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I just meant, I heard it was just like based out of your home. I was like, yeah, I don't pay office. I don't pay office rent. Like, what are you
Uh-huh.
talking about?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Those are the people you don't need in your life. And I never went to a birthday party for him, his wife, or the other friends that were there since.
No, they were officially blacklisted from that moment
Like,
on.
you do not speak to me like that.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Nope.
you literally say, how's your business doing? That's how you, hey, things are going great in your business? Like, how's it going?
Right.
That's how you ask that question.
Right.
You belittle my business, I will put you in your place.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
it's that simple. So those are the friends that are keeping you broke. The ones that are like the ain't it awful people. Like, isn't everything just awful? Like, oh my gosh, the world today, it's so hard. It's so awful. Listen, bro, I can't exist in that mindset. And if you're going to exist in that mindset, I can't have you around me.
Right.
Those friends are keeping you broke. The ones who are always just like, everything's terrible, everything's
Mm-hmm.
awful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're depressed, that's different. But like the people who just like to be sad or like
Right.
to be the henny pennies of the world,
Yes.
no.
Yeah. I recently had an aunt say, well, what are you doing with your degree? I'm just like, because she knows I have my business. I said, I'm still going to be an occupational therapist. I just get to choose specifically who I want to serve. And women in ADHD are incredibly underserved and they need the services. And that's why I'm doing this. She's like, oh, I just thought after all that time and all that time in school that you'd want to make good money. I said, I have learned a lot about business. I'm doing well, and I can make a lot more in my business than I would as an occupational therapist in a traditional setting. Like, thank you so much for your concern.
Except now I'm going to punch her in the face.
Except
Oh,
now I'm gonna punch you in. Well, I can't, but
yeah.
yeah.
You don't, family gets consideration. But
So, yeah, family gets consideration. And so there's this thing. And Maggie, where do you draw the line? Because um, the man who I consider to be a second father to me, and that's a aunt that I'm close with, they both made those comments. And it's because they can never see their self doing a business. So they genuinely don't even understand it. When do you give that grace and when do you not? Because I give it some grace, maybe if it's a family member, a longtime friend, but even then, I know that it's not good either. So where the fuck do you draw the line?
um I have a as listeners may or may not know, I don't know how much I've talked about it. I don't talk to my family. I have a great aunt I speak to, and she does not understand running your own business. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't understand it. She worked for the same company for like 40 or 50 years or something insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then they forced her out with an early retirement package,
Mm-hmm.
and she's never worked since. So she doesn't understand running your own business. She makes comments to me all the time. Well, that's great for now, but
Are
what are
you
you going
fucking
to
kidding
do?
me?
Yeah. She makes comments like that a lot. And even though like my grandpa was an entrepreneur, he ran his business in the basement to start. He was a machinist.
Mm-hmm.
He invented machines for Davy Tree, for Sherwin-Williams, for like out of his little
Mm-hmm.
business, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So people like that, and I should say my great aunt is in her 70s, her late 70s.
Yeah. And my aunt's in her early 70s.
So people like that, I tend to just smile and bear it, and it's not worth a conversation. It
Yeah.
genuinely isn't worth it,
Yeah.
because it's their generation combined with their life experience,
Right.
and that's not a friend that you're cutting out. It's a family member,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a family member who doesn't mean you ill. Like, it'd be different if it was a family member who was trying to hurt you in some way.
Mm-hmm. You gotta cut those bitches out. We've
Right.
both cut out bitches like
I've
that.
cut them out.
Yeah.
But when it's a family member who just doesn't understand because it's not in their experience,
Mm-hmm.
I just, okay. Like, okay. It's kind of like, you just want to pat them on the head and be like, go watch the Today Show or like whatever old person show you're watching. Like, go watch Good Morning America. Like, have a good day. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's just like whatever. Like, let's go get some pie at Baker Square or like whatever the
Right.
heck old person thing you do.
Well, I feel better about my choices then because yeah, both of those, the ones in late 60s, other one early 70s. So again, like you said, generational, their life experience. I don't
Yeah.
want to cut them out. They're both beautiful people. I'm close to both of them. But as far as friends, I will cut those bitches out. Like there's no excuse for you.
Yeah.
And family members that are younger or just like toxic pieces of shit.
Right.
Also, they can go too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a toxic, like if you're intentionally hurting my feelings or you're making me feel bad,
Mm-hmm.
like my mother was a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
She spent my whole life. I have pictures from my birthday parties that just resurfaced because my birthday was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she's making me cry in every single one of them. I'm in tears in all my
Wow.
birthday party pictures from my childhood. Because anytime I was center of attention, she made sure that I hated it.
Wow, that's sad. That
So
is traumatic.
people like that, yeah, even if they're family, you cut them out. But old people who really aren't, they don't know that experience.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of pat them on the head. Like, go watch General Hospital. Like, we'll talk later.
A new show every time.
Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that. It's just that. It's like, okay. But people who are like, and if it was a friend, like if I had some 7-year-old friend who didn't
Mhm.
understand, I would just talk to them less.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I still wouldn't hate on them because they're 70 and they need help with things. But
Right,
she's related to me, right?
right.
My son goes over there multiple times a week. My kids do
Yeah,
with my great aunt.
yeah.
And do my kids have anything in common? No. But did they still hang out with her because she's in her 70s and she never had kids and
Mhm.
that's what she has now? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. And is there anything wrong with it? No. Sometimes you got to deal with, like, at least my racist grandpa's dead. Like, he's not out there. He's not out there with his conservative Times subscription anymore or whatever the hell that
Oh,
magazine was called he
man.
got.
Oh
Like,
my
at least
gosh.
there's that. I would
At
rather
least
someone,
there's that.
I'd rather someone like belittles my business based on experience than hates black people for no reason. Like,
No
phew.
fucking shit.
Like,
No fucking
can't win them
shit.
all.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my little thing. And then in the end, I mean, you can either have a conversation with the person and say, like, listen,
Mhm.
you're a butt face, or
Mhm.
you can just limit your contact with them. That's what I do. I'm not having conversations with people. I'm not giving any more of my energy to that.
That's how I approach it too. I've got a few people where I just gave less and less and less time until eventually they don't really reach out to me anymore because I didn't have the fucking time for that kind of conversation. And even if I did have the time, I don't have the time.
Yeah, right. Even if I have the time, I'm not giving it up.
No,
Like, I'd
no.
rather spend that time on something else.
Like Netflix.
Literally, like anything else. Like, I will take up crochet before I give that time. Like, I would love to know how to crochet. Like, I will take up a new hobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, even though my dogs will ruin the blanket. Although I will tell you,
Mhm.
I had a friend make me a blanket and my dogs have not ruined it. I think it's because she used a really big yarn.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I will take up a new hobby before I spend time trying to teach somebody what to. But if you're a fixer, if that's your thing, you can always tell somebody like, "Hey, what you are doing is hurting me." But
Mhm.
I'm not a therapist, so I'm not about to do that for somebody.
I am a therapist, but I'm still not gonna do it.
I'm just like, no, I have no desire to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing it. I'm just like, you can just deal with never speaking to me again.
I teach
because
my
I'm
clients how
awesome.
to, yeah, I teach my clients how to deal with those situations, and it's different based on the person, what kind of relationship they want after. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm personally not doing that shit, but it's
I'm not.
fine.
I'm not
It's
either.
fine. Yeah.
Like I'm not. We'll just never talk again. It's fine.
And that's fine. And that's totally fine.
And
Maggie,
that's the
so
thing.
much for
Yeah, for so much for our 30-minute
yeah,
episode.
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, so much. So like this is the longest episode we've done, and it was mainly because I wanted to chit chat for 15 minutes.
And that's okay because
Is
we
that
missed you.
is that fine?
Yes.
It's fine.
More than fine. More than
It's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's everything.
Those
I
are the
think.
things. Those are all the things, I think.
Dude, I
What?
have big plans, you guys. If you're not already following us on Instagram, um, you haven't missed a goddamn thing, but you should start because I have plans to. You haven't missed anything. We've made like 4 posts. But you should start because I'm going to start posting content there in probably the next like 2 to 3 episodes worth, like a couple weeks, I mean.
What?
What? Are you gonna do something with your
This is so
social media?
exciting.
Ah.
I'll probably tell them that I'm doing a big launch.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah.
probably should do that.
Um, we have
We
news.
have news. I will be doing a huge launch after I am a certified occupational therapist. And I'm really excited. I'm kicking it off with a 3-day event, live event. And I don't have those dates yet because I have ADHD and I was focusing on my exam. So,
And she wasn't allowed to pick
and I was not
dates.
allowed to. I literally wasn't allowed to work on my business. So, deets on that coming up, but I will be taking new clients soon. I am not currently.
This is super exciting.
I'm really
Like
excited.
like if I needed what she's offering, I would sign up.
Would you actually? Are you just
Yeah.
saying that because
No, I would. Because I've had that inside scoop. I would absolutely sign up. And
Aww.
like I was trying to explain a lot of like what you teach to Sean
Uh-huh.
because he's having issues sleeping. Well, he's an insomnia. He literally has insomnia.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain a lot of what you teach to him and I was like, "Oh, we should, limit screens." And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "That's the same advice I've always been given." I was like, "Right, but I was like, the way Jamie teaches everything is everything builds on each other.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden it's not hard."
Overwhelming. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm just going to join a gym." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's a reason that Jamie stuff is meant for women.
Oh, that's
Because when you
hilarious.
tell a man to do things like this,
That's
it
hilarious.
just
Yeah.
doesn't go well.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't go well. Men react differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just like, "I'm just gonna join the gym. I think my problem is that I'm not expending enough energy." And I was like, "Well, it's partially that, but I don't think it's all of that. I don't
I
think
could go into all of the science of why I've done every single step in my program, but you know what?
yeah."
I'm going to let him do the gym first. And if he still needs help, just let me know and I'll help.
He's like, I'm just gonna join the gym." And I was like,
I
"Okay.
just need to bench more, man, and I'll feel better.
All
I'll
right.
sleep better.
But if I just join the gym, I'll be fine." He's like, "Okay." That's such a man response. Let me know.
It
Let me know how it
really
goes.
is. It really is.
It's like
That's hilarious.
I just need to use that rowing machine. That rowing machine. I really like the rowing machine. Okay. He's like, "I bought an armband, so I'll be able to listen to music without the phone always falling out of my pocket." Sounds
Your
like,
impersonations, I'm dead.
oh my god, they're so bad. I do the worst impressions. But
That's
like, yeah.
incredible.
But I was like, "You solved it.
Oh
You
my
solved it.
gosh.
I don't understand why people don't hire you for personal training. I mean, you solved it." But yeah, he's amazing. I'm married to the best human in the world, but yeah,
He is awesome.
he's
He's very awesome.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll see. We'll check in with him once
Yeah,
he joins the gym.
definitely. Absolutely.
We'll see if all of his problems are better.
Yeah, after he goes to the gym. Let me
He's
know.
just
I mean, I was a personal trainer for 5 years and it didn't It didn't completely work for me, but you know what? He probably knows more than I do.
Well, his last, like all of his positions,
Mm-hmm.
his work positions,
Mm-hmm.
have always been extremely physical. So this is his first time that he hasn't had a physical job.
Oh, did he sleep well before?
Kind of.
Okay. Well, then maybe this is what he needs.
I mean, not really sleep well, but he slept
Okay.
as
Yeah.
opposed to now.
Okay.
So he's like, I think I solved it. And I
Yeah.
was like, we'll see, sir. We shall see. Because he's still a really light sleeper. Like, if he does fall asleep, even if he's taken melatonin and he's done everything,
Uh-huh.
he literally, like, you just tap at the door and he's like awake for the day.
Oh
It could be
no.
3 a.m.
Is he joining the gym like soon? Because will we know by next week when we
No, we
record?
won't know by next week.
Okay. Well, you guys, stay tuned for a few weeks to know if Sean's sleeping better.
Yeah, we'll keep tabs on that because
Yeah.
honestly, it applies to everybody with AD. He's ADHD and autistic as well, but his autism is way worse than his ADHD. Not worse, but like unchecked
Uh-huh. Yeah.
because we don't do anything to manage our symptoms in this house.
LOL. Raw dogging for life.
He is. He is. He doesn't take any medication for anything.
Oh
Not for his
gosh.
mental health. Not
No.
not for any of his neurological. Nothing.
No.
He's just like, I'm a man. I can do everything.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, no, you can't. We take meds. We take meds in
Uh-huh.
this house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he okay, we're going long. So he
Just had to preface that because they didn't know 46 minutes in.
we're going long, guys. We're going long. He found out, I think it was 3 years ago,
Mhm.
maybe 2 years ago, that he had anxiety. He was
He didn't
like,
know until then?
yeah, it was news to him,
Oh, okay.
not to
Okay.
me.
Okay.
He was like, I have anxiety. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes, you do.
Uh-huh.
And then when he realized he had his insomnia, like real insomnia, he was like, Maggie, I have insomnia. I was like, yeah. I was
Mhm.
like, what? He's like, well, what else do I have? And I was like, are you fucking with me?
Mhm.
I was like, you have a ton. I'm just glad you didn't develop schizophrenia because of his mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just glad because that normally develops in your 30s.
Yeah.
And he's like 40, mm, 5. He's
Yeah.
45.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just glad you didn't develop that. But boy, you pick it, you got it. It's like you just walked through the store picking shit off the shelves
Right.
and was just like, that's good. I'll take one of those.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I had no idea. And I was like, he is so aware of everything around him
Mhm.
unless it applies to him.
Ah.
So that's men in a nutshell. The good news is there is hope as they age. They become
Uh-huh.
more aware of themselves. Or
And
at
this
least mine did because I stopped
yeah.
making him go to work.
Yeah.
And once he's home and he's able to think about himself,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
realizes stuff.
That's why I serve literally anyone other than cis men. That's the only population I won't serve.
Yeah,
Is cis men.
they're crazy.
They're
They're crazy
insane.
town. Yeah, like no.
And if you're listening to this and you are looking for a therapist, and we say women, I say women with ADHD, but if you aren't on my socials, you don't see that I spell it with an X, and that is inclusive to the to those who
Everybody.
are transgender or non-binary. Yeah, to everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. I'm
Except
waving my rainbow
except
flag.
cis men.
Except cis men, you're not welcome in my
You guys
community.
are
You,
you're a pain in the dick.
yeah, we don't want you.
Like you're a pain in the dick. You guys get your own community. No thanks. Like we love you, but no thank you.
Right.
Like we don't love you like that.
Not like that. Not at
Like
all.
we don't want to support you in that way. We
No.
already have one each that we support.
Right, no shit. I tell my friends all the time, I'm just like, I don't know why I chose to marry a man when I'm attracted to both genders. Like, I had a choice. I had a fucking choice, and this is the one that I made. What the fuck?
Right? Like, oh god, it was like I
Like,
felt
I literally could have picked anyone. Anyone.
right. There's
Literally anyone.
the world is so big, and then that's what I settled on.
And that's what Joe, I love you.
I love Sean. I would choose
Yeah,
him all over again.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because the girl I dated before him was she was insane.
Yeah.
She was insane.
Yeah.
So, no thanks.
Yeah, no
So was the
thanks.
guy I dated before him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I dated a girl briefly that was also insane, but also another guy too. Because so insanity is not limited to genders,
Yeah.
like at all.
I dated the both people I dated right before him were nutso.
Yeah.
Like she is heavily medicated now and he isn't, but he is a Trump supporter, so he should be.
Oh, so yeah, he definitely should be. Someone take him
Yeah.
to the ER.
Like it's not like and Sean does not let me live that down. He blocked us. This guy, my ex, right before
Mhm.
Sean, he blocked us because he is a Trump supporter and he we couldn't stop making fun of him on social media because he still shares a lot of our friends.
Mhm.
And Sean and I just we bullied him. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be real honest.
Mhm.
We bullied him for being a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't help it. Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, this guy was dead serious
Was he
about
saying really hateful things?
just stupid things, just
Yeah.
like real dumb things.
Yeah.
And Sean and I were just like, you can't be serious. Like,
Mhm.
and then we would post articles to like the actual facts. Like, he was saying false things.
Right.
And then we would post articles and be like, you can't be this stupid. And like,
Right.
here's an article with facts that
Uh-huh.
from, reputable sources.
Right. Peer reviewed.
And like, yeah, like here's
Uh-huh.
actual,
Mhm. Mhm.
facts.
Right. Right.
Like actual, like not fiction.
Mhm.
And he blocked us both. And I was like, it took this long, man. Sean and I have been together like 22 years. We'll be married 20 years this year.
Uh-huh.
And it took him this long to finally block us. Yeah.
That was some longevity. But you have really great content. So I don't blame him for not
I'm
blocking you until
and
now.
Sean's very funny. Like
Yeah.
I recommend everybody who likes memes follow Sean on Instagram. His name is Evil EVOL Genius. And it's hilarious. He pairs memes with songs and it
Really?
makes them so in his stories. They're always in his stories, and
Uh-huh.
they're so funny. And he has the best one saved to his highlights, so that way you can catch up. Oh my god,
I'm gonna have to
they're
go follow
so
him right now.
funny. They're so funny,
Okay.
so funny, like laugh out loud funny.
That's
And
awesome.
his engagement is through. He doesn't have a ton of followers, but like
Uh-huh.
his engagement is through the roof. I was like, wow, man. If I were you, I'd be taking that stuff to TikTok. I'd be putting in reels.
Right.
But he's like, no, I just like doing what I do. I'm like, okay. Be
Aw.
hilarious on your own time then. Like, so funny. It's so funny.
Aw.
Like, his, you should go follow. Sean is hilarious. Like, if you think I'm funny, which I am,
Which I
he's funnier.
am.
Yeah, he's even funnier.
I told Maggie she needs to do stand up.
Which I'm not going to do because I'm not. That's not me. But Sean's
No?
funny. Sean's funny. You're not the first person to tell me that, but I'm still not
Oh,
going
I
to
know
do
I'm
it.
not. Are you not an attention whore? Because I am.
I am not.
Okay, well, there's one difference that we have. We've been looking
Yeah.
we have a couple now that our auditory processing is different.
Yes.
And also, I'm an attention whore and you're not.
I am not an attention whore.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm fine with the level that I get.
Okay.
And then every time it comes up a notch, I'm like, ha ha ha, here's that desire to go hide, but I can't. Yeah. I am fine with it. And that's another reason why I think we're great business partners, because you can remain the face of it. And
Yeah.
I'll just like poke in and be like, here's some stuff I want to say. And then I can run
Right.
away.
Right.
Be like,
That does work very well for us.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, get rid of your friends that are garbage people.
Yeah.
Like,
here's another episode that we could have summed up in about 2 sentences.
yeah, but you're here for us. And this is our longest episode. And it's kind of like you're just hanging out with friends at this point in this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. And if you don't think we're funny, then you should probably fuck off.
Right. If you don't think we're amusing, this is not the episode for you, or
No.
possibly the podcast for you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely go find some boring neurotypicals. They're everywhere. They're like
Right.
a dime a dozen.
Bad news, they're everywhere. Oh, sad. Sad panda. All right. Bye, kids. We're signing off.